Hey team, and welcome. I'm your host, Carrie, creator of Mother Life, your destination for all things real talk and parenting. This is the IRL group chat, where we talk about the wild balancing act of pursuing careers and passions while also doing our best to show up for our kids. Join me every week as I sit down with some badass parents in my closet and we talk about their careers, kids, and relationships and all of the weird shit that comes up when you're trying to balance the seemingly impossible. Privacy. On the micro scale, it's what tired parents crave when they just want to sit on the toilet in peace and quiet. On the macro scale, however, we think of privacy as the sacred place we go to deep inside ourselves, where we keep all of our shit we don't want other people knowing. For people trying to grow their families or trudging through the early years of parenthood, privacy is often the place we retreat to when things feel too hard to share. Infertility struggles, postpartum depression, not feeling connected to your partner, or resenting them altogether. We also want privacy when we feel embarrassed. Everything from hemorrhoids to an unsatisfying sex life to just momentarily fucking hating your kids. It can all have you retreating behind a curtain of privacy. So what happens when someone becomes professionally vulnerable? The opposite of private. What does that do to people around them? How does it impact their ability to process? I think one of the reasons why podcasting has blown up the way it has is because of the connection we're all seeking, the real intimacy that happens when small talk falls away and you're left listening to people just be honest about their joys, their challenges, their struggles, their frustrations, not because everyone is living the same life, but because you just want to be reminded of how complicated living really is. Today's guest has been under the microscope of the public eye for 20 years, and over that time she's managed to cultivate her image and narrative in a way that is somehow both aspirational for the fashion style creatives among our ranks, and also deeply relatable for those trying to conceive, navigate partnership in new life stages, and just parent while building toward dreams. Whitney Port. Many will know her from her 6 seasons on one of the first true unscripted TV shows to really blow up, The Hills, and then the New York spinoff, The City. She's a fashion designer and creative and mini media mogul, from launching her own clothing line to acting as a creative director of the High Confectionery to her successful podcast and YouTube channel. This is a woman for whom creativity is a language she has to be speaking, or maybe she'll burst. The only thing that might top her love of creating is her love of her family, and her honesty with navigating all of it, including balancing the needs of her family that she grew up with and the family she's now growing herself. It's all on the table for discussion. It really makes you wonder what truly makes sense to keep private, and how much we might all benefit from stepping out from behind the curtain a little more often. Enjoy, share with a friend, let's talk about it. First of all, welcome to the closet.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to have you here. So this is very unusual because you're our first sibling. Like, we've had Paige on the pod before.
Yeah, but you haven't had a sibling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and what's interesting about that, right, is there's this saying that's like, no two people get the same parents.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because
I've heard that.
Right?
I mean, my therapist tells me that all the time because I think I had really great parents, but there are some things that obviously, like, no one's perfect. And my therapist was like, honestly, Whitney, there's no way with 5 kids, because I'm one of 5 kids. Like, there's no way with 5 kids that you were getting all of the attention that you probably needed. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably right. Like, when
Are you the second oldest?
I'm the middle child. I'm the third.
You're the third.
So I have my older brother, Ryan, then older sister, Ashley,
Right.
me, Paige, and then Jade.
Right.
So you guys have heard from Paige.
Yes.
And a lot of people say we sound a lot alike. But
I don't know.
Yeah. You don't know?
I don't know. I mean, I have also the privilege of having Paige in my life outside of this universe.
Yeah.
And so I think because I don't know. You guys are just totally different people to me.
Yeah. Well, we are.
You're
totally
different people.
Are.
But it is interesting because so you have different experiences in your house, obviously different interests that have led you to be different people.
Yes.
But also some pretty like shared experiences.
Yeah.
It's also unusual because you're such an open book about your life that I try and not go in like knowing that much. Like I've listened to a couple of your podcast episodes.
Yeah.
I like check in on the social every now and then. I like to see what you're wearing. I like to see what you're up to. But
Yeah.
like I'm not a huge consumer of your online presence.
Yeah.
And also there was a period where I was like too on the internet consuming
Okay.
other people.
Okay.
Like during COVID.
Yeah, and it felt it was like unhealthy for you.
Yeah, it was
Interesting.
It was more, and you know what? Honestly, your content is a little bit the antidote to this because you are very honest about like the hard stuff.
To be.
Yeah,
yeah, I try to be, but it was getting too much.
It was and I was a new mom during COVID.
Yeah.
First one.
Yeah.
And sort of like Paige as well, and I was being pushed all this stuff about like this is how to feed your kid, this is how your kid should be sleeping, and and I had nobody to observe.
Right.
Like I wasn't out in the world with my kid.
Right.
And it became
like talking and having community and being able to have like shared experiences to learn how to do anything. I know. I felt so terrible for Paige at that point. Like Sunny was 3.
Which honestly, in some ways, I think is much harder.
I mean, like.
Because he's a social being at that point.
Yeah, he wants to like obviously get out and about. But yeah, I do understand like you need to have boundaries with social media, and like there's certain people that bring you light and are funny, and for me those are like the people that I gravitate towards.
Yes.
And then there's some people who like make you feel anxious, and you have to pay attention to that. You know,
there are definitely some people I broke up with.
Yeah, and like not like just subconsciously scroll, you know, like pay attention to the content you're consuming and make sure that you're actually like enjoying it and having fun with it, you know.
100%.
And when you're not, like put it down.
Put it down.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly, since I started this project and like especially the social aspect of this project, my relationship with being on there has changed.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like, oh, I want to tell my like friend something funny.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go tell him something funny, or like this really made me laugh. Or like,
You want to like share content or
And then but I find I get off a lot faster than I used to. Whereas when I was just a consumer, it was just different.
Completely. And I think that's healthy. Like I try to look at it like that too. Like sometimes I think about unfollowing everybody and just
Is that like Justin Bieber? Like, I feel like you did that.
I don't, probably. Like that sounds so silly. And it's not even like my social presence affects me that much. Like I don't take the things too seriously. Like nor do I even feel, and I feel very lucky for this, but nor do I even feel like I get that much negativity or stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like you have a pretty ride. People are riding for you on there.
Yeah, it's more like you just are putting something out there for opinions in general, which is just something that doesn't feel normal for human beings.
100%.
You know, like we're supposed to just live our lives and like no one's supposed to have an opinion about it. Yeah. Like, or they have it, but they don't share it. Yeah. And or like we're like not, and we don't care because like we don't even, it's not part of our orbit. Yeah. But it's just so interesting, the whole thing. But I feel like I have pretty good boundaries with it.
Yeah. Well, and you've been in this game for a long time.
Yeah.
In a lot of different facets of your life.
Yes.
So it's like, I can imagine it's a little bit like, show me something I haven't seen before.
I mean, kind of. But like, I also, I just feel like since having Sunny, it's for me, social media is really just about work, and I really am not on there for like enjoyment.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It's lost its allure. And sometimes I feel like that could be a little bit of a problem because I'm like, but if I'm not loving it, then why
am I here?
Why am I here? And like, how am I knowing what to create? And like, what community am I building here? But I feel like I have to continue to like reinvigorate myself with it, you know? Like I have someone now who is just a really beautiful photographer, and she works with a bunch of other influencers and companies to help create content. And she's helped me like find fun with fashion again and do more like editorial style photo shoots and produce them. And I used to have that's what I had so much fun doing when I was younger. Like I always felt like if I didn't get on TV, I would be some sort of like photo shoot producer or like
creative director
working at a magazine, something like that. So that's been really fun. So I'm trying to like just insert fun back into it instead of like taking it so seriously.
I think that's the key. That's kind of for me been the whole reason I started this project was I was a little done being taken seriously. I was like had this job that I had a doctor, or I guess I still have a doctorate, but I was doing like really serious stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And I felt like I was missing a part of myself because like I would make jokes in meetings and it always went over really well, especially if it was a tense discussion.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, we can all still be people in here.
Completely.
But like I couldn't really be the fullest expression of myself. Whereas, and it for a while held me back from doing this when I had like a more corporate job.
Completely.
And then once I left that and moved to this weird place,
Yeah.
Los Angeles from New York. It's like, oh, everybody's just doing what they want here.
Oh, completely. Like, honestly, everyone, I used to be the kind of person that's like this, but I feel like most people here are like this, where they're just like throwing things at a wall and seeing what sticks. Like, I'm trying to be a little bit more intentional now, but I'm like a little bit older than you.
You're so much older than me.
Yeah, a little bit. It's honestly, but this is a new wave of thinking in like the past 6 months.
I love
just wait. It's like in your last year of 39. It's cheesy, but it's true, that you do start to have like interesting kind of like revelations and perspectives on things.
I really want to do a mushroom journey. I've never done mushrooms, but I want to do a journey. And people who listen to this regularly are probably so fucking sick of hearing me talk about
need to talk
mushrooms.
to my best friend then.
Okay.
Do you know anything about it? Have you gone down a road of...
I've read extensively.
Yes. Okay.
My mom is a psychologist who is certified to like help people integrate their experiences post psychedelic experience. Not like I would fucking have her do that for me.
No, completely.
Forget about it.
Completely.
It's like
that's amazing.
In my orbit.
Yeah.
I was always a very good girl, so I didn't really engage with any of this stuff. I didn't even get interested in weed until I was like much older.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same. I really want to do it too, and my best friend is very experienced with it, and like it's been a huge part of her life, and actually went off all her antidepressants and now relies on these journeys for like her healing, and then she integrates back into life and figures out like when her next one is, but takes all of these visions and really has created like this whole energetic, amazing world for herself. And like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, like I look at her, I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah.
And like I'll say that to her face.
Yeah, of course.
And then it's just like so woo-woo. And then other times, like I spent a night with her a couple weeks ago. She was like, let's go to this party in the desert. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, you know what? Like I need a night out. So we went out to this party. It was like started at 11 p.m. Anyways, moral of the story. I know.
I don't even know.
The pregame, I took a nap at 6, felt so weird, like had a martini at 10. It was like so weird. But the moral of the story was that like there were so many spiritual things having to do with like her mom had passed, my dad has passed, like I said, and like having to do with their energy being here and seeing signs, and like that really, like I started to see things and like be more present and like look for things, and even just those little tidbits of it I feel like are so powerful. Yeah.
And that's before
you should do it.
We should do it. I want like a shaman.
She'll set you up with the whole thing.
Great.
She'll set you up with the whole. She has the
offline.
shaman. She knows the right drugs, the right all of it. We'll discuss.
Because for me, it's like I feel like I've been pretty blessed with pretty solid mental health my whole life. I mean, I have a therapist and like I work on myself constantly, but like I haven't had a massive mental health challenge. Plenty of challenges in my life.
Completely. I'm the same. Like just we're maintaining.
Yeah.
But we're like we still need help like any other like normal.
But wouldn't
human.
it be great to like talk to the universe about it? Because I think
completely.
That's what's happening.
Completely.
My husband's very concerned. He's like, what if it like changes your brain chemistry? I'm like, people don't come out not being themselves anymore.
No.
It's just perspective.
I mean, I don't know. I can't speak to the science of it, obviously, but like it doesn't seem that way. I think that if anything, it just like broadens your horizons.
Who doesn't want to be broadened?
Exactly.
Husband.
Exactly.
It's okay. He never listens to these. But he does know I'm interested.
Wait, so what were you, so you stopped doing like
my serious stuff.
Your serious stuff completely.
Yeah.
How long ago?
So I love that you can't help but interview me.
I'm just
we're on a friend date. It's fine.
Yeah.
So I stopped I was working for this consulting firm based in the UK for 10 years. I stopped after my maternity leave with my first, so 2021.
Okay.
And Dylan, who you've met, host of Candy Between Company.
Yes.
Called me not long after I quit and was just calling to check in on how I was in motherhood, like so a good friend.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I actually just quit my job. Pretty amped. I don't know what I'm going to do. That was probably a really bad idea, but like I quit.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to send you something. And he sent me a job description for something that he had written like 2 years prior. And then there's a tiny little footnote in the bottom that says, ask Carrie about this. And he just like kind of had sat on it. He sent it to me. We were sort of looking for a reason to move from New York to LA. Yeah. And I was like, I guess I have my reason.
Yeah.
I don't need to be. I was traveling internationally like monthly before that, mainly to Africa, which was a dream.
Of course. But not really like you can't maintain that with 2 kids.
No.
Yeah.
And so the rest is sort of history. But it took me a while of being here to sort of shed that identity or change that identity of like, I want people to be very impressed by me.
Totally.
And like just be like, I want to have meaningful connection. And here that's kind of like a game.
Yeah.
Having meaningful connection. Because sometimes you think you're getting it from somebody and then you're like, wait, what just happened?
Totally. Was that real or not?
Right.
Yeah. I know. That's why for me, it's so hard. Like I'll be like, sometimes I'll yearn for meaningful connection. And then sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm just so sick of everyone here that I just like want to be in my bubble at home and I don't even care. And like, for me, I have my best friends that I've grown up with, and I grew up here, so I have my foundation here. Like my siblings are all here. Everybody that I grew up with is here, so like I feel safe having that. I can't imagine coming to LA. As a newbie and trying here. I think in New York, so much easier. I mean, I'm trying to get Timmy to move back to New York every single day.
But are you sure you mean that?
I really do mean that. I know
you were just there?
I was just there. And Timmy for the first time last week was like, okay, maybe.
Yeah, but like the weather was so nice.
I know, it was nice. It was actually raining like the last 24 hours. And I was still like, this is so cozy.
You're like, look how romantic it is in the rain.
Yeah,
Timmy.
like doing a photo shoot.
Did you see that rat in the puddle?
Yeah.
So cute.
I know. But like, I know. I have an issue. I'm like, is it just because we're here on semi-vacay and I'm feeling this energy and you get that energy for 5 days and then you're like over it, or is it real? And it's hard for me. Like I live there. It's hard to know. I lived there before, but again, I was so close with my family at the time. I was nowhere where I'm at now, married and with a child, and have like my own little family and creating my own life. So,
and you're all like painfully cute. So we won't do the normal thing that we do here, which is go through every single step of your life because we Paige covered a lot of it.
Oh my God, yeah. Okay, great.
But you did grow up here.
Yes.
You are the middle of 5.
Yes.
What did your dad used to call you guys? The swarm?
The swarm.
Yeah.
Where like a swarm of bees around like the whatever.
You're going everywhere together. You're at each other's stuff. Or at the time when you're growing up.
I mean, like now too, we try to be as much as we can, but as the family grows and it's like harder for everyone to be everywhere. Yeah. But yeah, it's like the family, we had such an amazing childhood, like such amazing parents. And it was like devastating when we lost my dad. It felt like a huge part of our family, was shattered.
Wait, where were you? How old were you?
I was 28. I was living here in Los Angeles.
And you were already with Timmy.
I was already with Timmy. Timmy and I got together like basically as we were finding out that my dad was sick. But
which is also just interesting. This is a theme in this pod, and it's certainly like obviously Paige and Ben found each other around that time as well. Yeah. But it happens a lot, and I'm not a super woo-woo person, but there is a theme here of like people finding their forever person, often at the time of losing a parent.
I know.
We've had that happen a lot.
I know. Like angels bringing them for you, you know, and like really one door closing and another one opening. And I completely believe in that. And Ben is such a blessing in that way for sticking by her side. Like they were at the very beginning of their relationship. It was, you know, he was such a stand-up guy.
And it sounds like you guys were, you know, he had to move through a lot of stages with you emotionally.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I even didn't really feel like I didn't get out of my grief until a couple of years ago, honestly.
Do you think you ever fully get out of it?
I mean, no.
Existentially, I don't know.
I don't think you fully get out of it. Like it's lifelong, you know, you can never like replace this little hole that's missing. But the amount of time that you think about it and the pain, like the amount of pain that you feel, I think lessens, you know? Like it used to be where I would just, the thought of my dad would make me cry. And now I can really think about him and like have meaningful memories and really like think about him more thoughtfully without me like breaking down. You know, I can just process.
Are you a crier?
A lot more.
I'm such a crier. That's why I'm asking.
Such a major crier. Like,
You don't read crier to me.
Really?
Yeah.
No, big time.
Love that about
Big time. All my sisters, big criers.
Paige is a crier?
Paige is a major crier.
Huh.
Major crier. I know. That's really funny that you say that I don't read that.
You also don't read as a Jew, but like, here we are. Here we are, everybody.
Yeah, I know.
Or a dog owner. I mean, you're really just defying the stereotype.
Totally. That's what I try to do.
Surprising us at every angle.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, my dad, like my family we're still so close. Like we're all here. My brother lives close to my mom and so does my older sister. And then there's 3 of us that live in the valley and we all have young kids.
You're
and
on,
that is
text message groups together and calls.
So amazing. And I go into work to record my podcast and Paige is just sitting in her office and I like bug her. Or yesterday I like walk by and try to get her attention and she was not looking. And I was like, okay, I'm not even going to bother. But yeah, it's like such an amazing support system, and especially for Sunny being an only child, like so nice to have that network and support.
But what you bring up is a tough thing, and it's, I think, generationally unique. I mean, I think Gen X could probably also relate to this, but really up until that point in America, you were born somewhere and you broadly stayed in that place.
Totally. And like raised your kids with your family.
Right. Everyone's kind of living in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then with this opening up of opportunity, people going to college all over the country or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And now you're hearing, so is your family all on East Coast?
We're weirdly.
Your husband's in New England.
Husband's in New England for the most part. My mom moved here when we did because she's like, well, there's nothing left in New York for me.
Yeah.
Took my grandchild. At the time, there's just the one I'm coming to.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister is in Florida. And my brother randomly moved to LA. He lives in Westlake Village.
Yeah.
Amazing. So
that's nice.
Yeah. It's, you know, kind of like all sort of works out. But there's this hard thing of like, do I do what I feel is best for me? And I have another reason for asking you this in a minute. But like, do I invest in myself and my tiny little family unit? And what are the trade-offs of being further from my family and from this other thing?
Yes.
Because it is a trade-off. And I know you're thinking about this, right?
Completely. I think that like, I think your family will always understand if you're doing something for the best of your family and like for your own happiness. And I've spoken about this with my family before and they know that I've discussed this and like I know that they would understand. It's more just about like how difficult it would be for me. Like it would be so hard. What gives me a little bit of like solace is just like so many people do it and are able to like grow and still maintain relationships and visit and have that. And I think right now it's such a blessing that 5 of us are here. Like if one of us left, like would it be that big of a deal? I don't know. Like
because there's just so many.
I think right now it's not the right time. We have stuff going on with my mom health-wise and like all of us need to be here.
Which is one of the reasons why I was asking you.
Yeah. Like I want to like be there to support my family and I want to be there to like make sure that my mom is okay. So right now it's not a reality, but
But it's in there. It's
we'll
processing.
See. Yeah.
Well, and then there's this other piece, right? Like, you've been extremely public about your challenges with fertility.
Yeah.
I kind of think, and I, to be fair, wasn't consuming this type of content when you started down this road. I actually remember I met you once at a soccer practice.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything. I mean, I like knew who you were, but I didn't know anything really about you. And I said something like, have you thought about having another kid?
Yeah.
Because I had no fucking clue.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, actually, I've been really public on the internet about this. No, you didn't say that.
I was like, did I say that?
No, you were.
Oh my God.
You were
mortified.
Absolutely not. You were super gracious. You were just like, yeah, like, it's been kind of challenging. We've been trying to figure it out.
Okay, good.
Obviously later I was like, cool, like this poor fucking woman.
No, but I honestly, like, it does make you step back and be like, oh, I'm not gonna ask those things. Like, now I'll never ask anybody, like, are you breastfeeding, or how long were you breastfeeding, or are you gonna have another kid?
You have no idea
what's about. You just have no idea, and it's like, I don't even really need to know, or like care to know, or
it's
have
like
a
weird way of making
like
small talk.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a weird way of making small talk that we just revert to.
Overly
and
intimate.
I feel like we need to think about that. And I'm not saying that you did the wrong thing by any means.
I did.
I've done that, and then it's taken me a certain amount of time to be like, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Well, you know the one I used to do all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, you're pregnant? Is it a boy or a girl?
Oh,
Who fucking cares? A?
Yeah.
B, you have no idea what somebody got to get to that point and like,
or if they like are wanted them to identify in any kind of way or whatever, like whatever it is.
But it's like a weird way a tick is a good way of putting it. It's like whatever weird way we're trying to find connection with somebody.
Yes. And it's like the right. You have the right intention. It's just not the right thing to say.
Yes.
So like, yeah, I mean, for me, I have been very open about it, and I really don't like. When people do ask me, I try to be as like
you were totally
possible.
Like low key. Yeah, we're trying. Trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
it's
but we have these embryos. I did another round. Well, long story short, we had Sunny like so easy, got pregnant after going off birth control after like 2 months, and it was just easy. Hated being pregnant, but it was easy. Then proceeded to miscarry a bunch after Sunny. Went to a fertility specialist and made embryos. And long story short, hit like a rock bottom and realized that I couldn't carry. And so we decided to go the surrogacy route. We did a transfer of 2 embryos into a surrogate, and both of them failed.
When was that?
That was last summer.
Okay. This is very fresh. Yeah.
Not last summer. Last summer I did another round. It was the summer before last, or like the winter before last. And then I took off some time. So we did those 2 transfers. They failed, and we decided that we were just going to take some time to figure out next steps. And we decided that what would be best would just be to like throw all new things at the mix, a new doctor, a new round of embryos, and a new surrogate.
Yeah.
So last summer I did a new round of egg retrieval and like got so many eggs, but then it ended up only fertilizing 1 like good looking embryo.
Yeah.
So now we have this embryo, and we're looking for a surrogate. We have an agent that I met through my doctor who
and this is all in New York,
finds,
right?
My doctor's in New York. My doctor is Katha Fisher. I love her. fertility doctor at Spring Fertility. Love her so much. And then surrogacy agent who will send us options, and we had one that we loved, and then we got a pap smear back, and it turns out that she needs something called a LEAPS procedure because she has cervical cancer cells, so she can't be our surrogate. So then I get 2 more options, and like there's just red flags with those, and it's just like now I'm just looking for the right like oven to bake the embryo, but not giving up.
But how fucking exhausting. Also, do you guys fight about any of this stuff ever?
Not anymore.
Because there's so many emotions, so many hormones, much shit going on.
But I last summer was hard while I was doing the egg retrieval. We were both like, we're never doing this again.
Yeah.
You know, like we'll hopefully get something out of this. And for me, luckily I have three good looking embryos right now, two from the first batch and one from this batch. And like, I feel solid with that. But yeah, it was definitely testy last summer. Like I was just in a hormonal mess. I'm just like not able to really enjoy life at all, like completely just consumed by this whole thing. Everything stops, work stops, like connecting with people stops. You don't want to be bothered.
And you probably don't want people asking you questions as you're going through it.
Completely. You don't want to talk about it.
Are you superstitious at all?
No, I'm not.
Medium-stitious? No level of stitious?
Not really. Like we'll be like right foot on the plane, you know, like right foot first. Like
I've never heard that.
Oh
Is that
yeah,
a thing?
I don't know, but that our family has a thing, like weird random things I'll do, but not super. Yeah, not super superstitious. Not super.
She's not superstitious. That's hard to say.
So yeah,
it's a lot, man, and like. You have a lot going on outside of that, right?
Well, not more than anybody else, but like
Fair, my supportive queen. And also
yeah. And a lot at the same time.
There's a level of logistics that go with running your life. Everybody has a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
You're working from inside the home, you're a stay-at-home parent or otherwise, there's a lot of shit going on.
Completely.
But there's also just like the mental gymnastics of the logistics of like, I'm going on this trip for this, or like this shoot is happening. I need to figure out these clothes.
Yeah.
I feel like a bloated mess today and I still have to
Yeah. Yeah. I know. For me, I feel really lucky that during those times I can kind of be like, it wasn't that long, but that I work in a business where everyone is so supportive of this, you know, like this is what we're preaching, like on my podcast.
This is our Super Bowl.
Exactly. So when I'm going through something like this, I feel very comfortable telling my partners, like the podcast production company, like I need some space right now. And you know,
everybody's fine.
Yeah. So I feel really lucky that I'm able to do that. And I know a lot of like most people have to like truck through, you know? So that's a huge privilege. And it's one of the reasons why talking about this is also so hard, because it's like, you know, so much, the fact that I even get to do this is a privilege. The fact that I get to have a surrogate is a privilege. And that was something that I really struggled with at the beginning, was like, oh, what are people going to think?
So that's an interesting observation, Whitney, because was there ever any point where when you found out that you couldn't carry, I mean, was that hard for you to hear?
Well, the thing is that I never was told like you can't carry. So for me, I feel like I'm stuck with the mental load of that I didn't do everything that I could to try.
Right.
I was set to do a transfer and I got a really bad stomach flu right before and was throwing up nonstop and like ended up tearing my esophagus and had to get an endoscopy and couldn't do the transfer, and then like lost all this weight because I couldn't eat.
Yeah.
And hit it and was like, this is all driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Like I'm at my lowest point. I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. And so for me, it was me pulling the plug on it. It wasn't like you were not able to carry. So that's why the surrogacy thing has felt like such a privilege.
Right.
Because
and you're you've empowered yourself to make the choice.
Yeah. And as soon as I kind of like forgave myself and like gave myself the grace to make that choice and be like, you work hard for exactly this. Yeah. Like what else than to like grow your family?
Yeah.
So you like want a bigger house. Okay. You can wait 2 years for that, you know, or like 5 years or 10 years, whatever it is. But like you don't have that time right now.
Totally.
Or, you know, so it's just, it's a lot of like mental and emotional and physical Olympics, but it's, I have a little bit of space from it now. Like I have a lot of gratitude for what I have at the same time. Like I've also thought a lot about what happens if I never have another one. And if this is it, and it's just like, that's great too.
Yeah.
Like I'm so lucky to even have Sunny. Like I'll have so much more freedom and like,
Fuck yeah.
I mean, I can travel so much more, and who even knows? Like, it won't be as expensive. Like, there's so many pros.
Yeah.
But
you're trying. You're
but
on
we're
the train.
trying. We're on the train, and like really hope it happens.
Now, you have been obviously public with your life and vulnerable in a way that allows other people to do that. The thing that struck me when I met you recently properly.
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, oh my God, I want to talk to her. You don't do small talk.
No, I don't like small talk.
Which neither do I. And you immediately like said something, I forget what it was, but it was like a substantial statement. I was like, okay, like, let's go. Like, let's get into it. And
oh my God. I cannot
love
do
it.
small talk. And sometimes it's funny that you say that, because lately I've been wondering, and I asked my therapist this, like, I'll tell her certain things that I've said to people where I felt like I've crossed certain boundaries, and she's like, she finds it. I mean, it's interesting because like I don't feel like I'm a boundary crosser, but I think in my effort to not have small talk, I'm just like immediately have to be like, oh, I'm just like coming from the doctor's office with my mom. Like my mom is, you know, like sick and has this diagnosis and blah, blah, blah. And like, I'll just immediately get into it. And or what did I say to you?
Remember. I think it was, you were talking about it was one of two things. It was either, because you made both of the comments, and that's why I got to talk to this girl more. One was about like where you should live and like, you know, exploring that. And then the other statement that you made at some point in that time was about making connections with people and figuring out like, why is this conversation happening?
Yeah.
Like, where is it coming from? From what place is it coming?
Right.
And like how that can be a little bit of a thought loop.
Completely. And where things are like where you're meant to be completely.
Yeah.
I like to have those like philosophical conversations.
Same.
I think that also comes from this school that I went to. I went to Crossroads, which is on the west side in LA here. And like we had this thing called life skills every week where we went around the circle and we talked about like our high and our low and our feelings and what was going on with us. And it was always like we were just urged and supported to communicate our feelings and really like be open.
Comfort
they,
with
like,
vulnerability.
Turned down the lights and lit a candle and like really created a safe space. So for me, I'm just like, why can't everybody just like talk about their feelings and be real, you know?
At soccer practice, and I don't think Paige was there that day. She would have totally been like, Carrie, but I totally somehow got on the subject of like sex. I mean, all the kids are obviously playing.
Yeah.
There's like a group of moms.
They have no idea what you're talking about anyways.
And like just like somehow like making all the moms, not making them, but just like talking about like how often everybody is having sex. And, like,
which is something that everybody wants to talk about, but people are like scared to talk about, you know?
Yeah. Like somebody brought up like THC suppository, and then
oh
they
my
put
God.
it in the, like it was just like I was crying,
but that's
laughing.
so fun. Because
So
that's
fun.
like that's like all the shit that we are ruminating in our head that's making us giggle that we want to share out loud.
Yeah, I think it's why some of these podcasts like Good Hang with Amy Poehler.
Yeah, I love her.
The Smart List guys. Really, Good Hang, I feel like Amy is really onto something where she's crying, laughing herself. And then you're listening to her, so you start crying, laughing.
Completely.
It's just like, we all need to do that more because so much of the real stuff is so heavy.
Completely. That you just need to like,
and your kids need to
feel
see
people laugh. Yes. I
feel like
really
you and
tried.
Timmy do that.
Oh my God. Our whole life is, I'm not like our whole life is laughter, but like the biggest reason that I married him, and there are so many, but is like his humor. Like he makes me laugh so much. And I know that for all the years that will stand the test of time, you know, like humor is so important in this life. And I try also just not to take anything too seriously.
Yeah. Which
like
can be hard
you can
sometimes.
ask Paige, like she'll be like, sometimes Whitney needs to, you know,
Dial it in.
Bring Whitney back to earth a little bit. Like this is not pretend life. But I think I don't know, it's healthy for me. It makes living so much easier when I'm just trying to uncomplicate things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now with Timmy, as part of this, obviously you guys met in a professional setting, nothing improper happened then, but you got together later.
Yeah.
How does he feel about being part of the whole, like, you guys look like you're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves the YouTube specifically.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a producer and like used to edit stuff, and so this comes really naturally to him. And he's also always just been a big fan of reality TV, so he loves doing it. Like, he gets in there and puts in all the jokes and talks with the community and like goes live with them, and he has a blast. But it's good for us because we keep that separate from everything else. Like, I talk to him about everything work-wise that's going on, because I like, who else am I going to talk to? I have like someone that I work on social with, and then someone that's like,
he's got the whole picture.
Yeah, completely. So I bounce off everything off him, but it's helpful for me to like kind of stay in my own lane and do my own thing and not work together on everything, you know. Totally. But it's fun. It's so much fun for us to just go sit on the couch and like watch old shows and react to them.
It looks like you guys are having a blast. I ask in part because my husband is the most supportive king when it comes to this project.
Yeah.
And also like wants nothing to do. Like,
I get that. He doesn't, most of the time he doesn't want anything to do with it. Yeah. Like, he's not like the Instagram husband that's like out there taking my photo, or like, you'll also see, that's why on my content, most of my pictures are like selfies, because he never wants to take a photo of me. And I'm like, I'm not this vain. It's just like, I want to show you what I'm wearing. And
wouldn't it be nice to me?
Yeah, and I don't like run around with a photographer. Yeah. So like, what do you want from me? So now I'm getting mad at social media. So no, he definitely doesn't want, he's like,
there's a boundary.
There's a boundary.
There's like a fun project that you do together.
Yes, exactly. And he loves that. And like, we do the date nights on my podcast, which like are once a month. And we actually just recorded one today. So those are fun to insert those real life moments, but not have it be the whole thing. You know, like, I really I want the fun stuff. I want the fashion and the creativity and like the lifestyle and the wellness and the realness and like of life to be part of my social. Yeah.
Well, I think, you know, in doing my research for this was, you know, going in and out of different episodes from like relatively recent ones. You did one with Big Time Adulting.
Yeah.
And you talked about, you didn't explicitly say it, I don't think, but you hinted at being if there's a type B, being a type B.
Yes.
That was probably the most exciting thing I've ever learned about you.
Really?
Yeah, because there's this view of like sort of the archetypal fashion creative person who like is very organized and tidy.
Yes.
And I was thrilled
to hear.
I mean, you saw my home. It's not that. Like, it's not.
I know.
And I have friends and their houses are like perfect and they have kids and everything's put away and organized and categorized. And I'm like, why can't my brain just won't do it? I can't do it.
I know. So honestly, like, I go back and forth. Like, I want to have that, and I'm like, maybe one day eventually I'll have that, but I also am at the same time, like, that's never going to be me. Like, that's not what the house I grew up in looked like. That just doesn't live in me naturally.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, if you come to my house, like, there's piles, there's stuff most of the time. Right now it's really tidy because we had to shoot in there on Monday and we have a guest coming over today. But like, I'm one of those people that just like shoves everything into the bedroom, you know, or like the spare closet when people are coming over. Like, it's not. No, I sometimes wish I could be more type A, but then I'm like, you know what a waste of time.
There's a trade-off. If it doesn't come naturally to you, it's too much of a lift.
Exactly. It just like, accept who you are, give yourself grace, and like try to give yourself enough time in order to like be prepared if you know that that's something that you lack.
Unfortunately, my husband has OCD, so that's a shame for him.
Oh my God.
Because he's married to me.
What kind of OCD? Like, what are his?
He is very like particular about like the scissors
or you don't
going back.
Talk about it. I'm like,
no.
I
he's
just
very particular
that,
about like the scissors being in the scissor place.
Okay. Like, everything has a spot.
And like, you know, there's probably other manifestations. Like, we're still figuring it out all of the different manifestations, but like for me, have had to like label where the scissor place is with a label gun. Because my brain will just put them fucking anywhere.
I know.
So it's things like that where it's like the smallest thing that I will just do will drive him up the wall. And he looks at me like, you animal, like, why can't you just remember that the scissors go there?
Completely. After I feel like 14 times of doing it, you'll remember. It takes a while to find a long I feel like time. Doesn't it say like it takes a habit 2 weeks to something like that?
Maybe that's to break it. I can't remember. Or to form it.
I thought it was to form it. I thought, but that's. I think it's like good. Oprah says it. I don't know. It's like not.
Oprah, let us know.
Yeah,
Whitney and I are curious. Okay, so you've obviously done a lot of things. We've done reality TV. We've had a fashion line.
Yeah,
which I have said before, and I will say it again. People don't appreciate that, like. The whole fashion thing, your dad was in the schmata business.
Yeah,
like you grew up in this world.
Yeah, I worked for him during the summers. Like he had a factory right out here in Van Nuys, and he would buy licenses like Strawberry Shortcake and Care Bears, and then
good ones.
Print them on loungewear and sell them to like Walmart and Hot Topic. And so I would work there during the summer, and then he helped me build the line. And then when he passed away, it was just too hard for me to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And Paige was helping me run it and manage me, and it just got like too hard for everyone.
Yeah.
And so we all decided to like go our separate ways so that we could all each thrive on our own.
Yeah.
Because I think we realized like we were kind of holding each other back.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing. Like at the time it was so hard to do to be like,
we're breaking up
as a fan professionally. And it was really hard. But afterwards, I felt like such a weight had been lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I can do, like, the world is my oyster. Like, and it took me some time again to figure out what I want to do. But I always just feel like I'm continually trying to evolve based on where I'm at in my life and what is giving me life in the moment. And I feel really lucky to do that. Yeah.
That's the thing and the reason why I point this out is like, there's often a common thread here of people are either influenced and pulled into their parents' orbit, like what they did professionally. Or repulsed by it and want to do something totally different. And I pointed out for you because I think people see like beautiful woman who grew up in, did reality TV at a young age. I guess I'll start a fashion line. And they don't necessarily appreciate that this is a little bit in the family DNA.
Completely.
And then you leave that and you've now gone on to do a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
You've had clearly like being creative is an important part of who you are there.
Yeah.
And while you were growing up, your mom is running the enterprise that is your household.
Yes.
5,000 children.
Yes.
And now you're in this new chapter where I'm sure, as a parent of one child, do you ever like reflect and be like, fuck, how was that all running?
Yeah, all the time. I'm just like, I'm in awe of my mom. I don't know how she pulled it all together. Like, I can't imagine mornings in the house. I can't even imagine like what it was like to get 5 kids out the door. I know for half the year we had my grandparents live with us, so that was really helpful. But my mom has always made it seem just like blissful, just the best years of her life, like when we were young.
What I really want to talk about is the sandwich generation thing.
Yes.
The piece, because I can really relate to that. My stepdad has dementia. He lives in Florida.
Ugh.
And I'm super lucky that my sister does the heavy lift with him.
Okay.
Like she is, there. She's closer. She does a lot of that heavy lift.
Does he have a caretaker there with him?
He lives in a home.
Oh, he lives
in memory care.
Okay.
But the existential, confusing thing of being in this stage of life when a parent gets sick and they're still here.
Yeah.
And they need you in a new way.
Yeah.
And you also have a young child who needs you in a very different way. And you have a job, and in your case, are also on this journey to grow your family. It is, I can only imagine, because I am not the one doing the heavy lift with my stepdad, the mental gymnastics of that.
Yeah, it's a lot. Right now, there's 5 of us, so I feel like that definitely lightens the load. Like, I can't imagine if it were just me or if it were just one other, like, because even knowing that the other person just has all of this responsibility just probably riddles you with so much guilt. And it's just probably you feel so helpless and like you wish that you could do more. I think, I feel so grateful to have them, but also I have to really like put it away and take it out. You know what I mean? Like,
that's well said.
I can't have it
You can't walk around with it all the time.
Yeah, I can't like let it be this thing that I'm just like thinking about constantly, and I'm thinking about what's going to happen next, and like what are we doing, and what are the plans, and like what if this happens or what if that happens. Like there has to be like planned times to think about it. And my siblings and I, we have scheduled calls every Friday at 1.
Do not call her on Friday at 1, guys. She's on a call.
I'm like, Fridays used to be my self-care days, but now they've just turned into like
family admin.
Exact family admin, 100%. It's like I go home to Brentwood to get my mom set up for her therapy call at noon, and then I have my call with my family. And so anyways, at that time is where we can at least all be organized and like know what needs to be done, and we're all very like, for the most part, on top of it. I mean, it's been difficult this past year. That's a whole other dynamic, is having to deal with all the people too. Like, yes, it's great that there's 5 of us.
Yes.
But we also haven't really been like,
is one person like, is there a decision maker?
There's not
the death
really.
by committee?
Like everyone is pretty diplomatic, honestly. Like we're very, very fair and we hear each other out, but there's a lot of different dynamics, and so that part can get exhausting as well.
Yeah.
And you just want to like shut that off, and you're like, I just want to love my sisters,
right,
and my brother for just being my sisters and have fun with them, and not have to just every time I'm talking to them have to be dealing with this stressful thing.
Yes.
So that has been something that like I think we're all trying to work on, and when we are with each other to really like enjoy each other and not make it all about that. And then our Friday calls are like our times to get to business, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like
Are you finding any of your friends are also experiencing this sort of thing right now?
Yes.
And because we're called the sandwich generation, right? Like
yes.
The idea being that there are lots of people going through this.
I've had friends that have gone through this and then have watched their parents pass away. I have friends that are going through this that like never talk about it. I don't really have anybody super close to me that I'm talking to about this right now, but it's okay. I don't feel like I need it.
Well, it sounds like you got a team working on the thing.
Yes. Like I feel like for me, again, it's one of those things where I can prioritize when I'm doing it, but I don't feel the need to I don't know. I don't want it to take over my life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's this really confusing thing, right? Because like I think about cultures like Chinese, Indian families that are like multi-generational where everybody lives together.
Yeah.
And this idea is like, you know, everybody's taking care of everybody when they need it. Mm-hmm. And because our lives are just more devolved here, it's a little bit harder to do that in practice. Back to this point of everyone living all over
Is
the
your
place.
mom here in this house?
Or she is today.
Okay.
She lives nearby, and we're actually trying to get her to move even closer.
Okay, amazing. But still in her own place.
She's still in her own place.
Yeah.
She is like still working and you know whatever, but it is also just hard to watch a parent age.
Completely.
Because I'm the youngest, and my siblings, I feel like, you know, my mom was younger and could pick up babies more easily and do all this stuff. And she is an incredible addition. Like, I love watching her read books and stuff to my kids. Mom, I love you, and I'm sorry for what I'm about to say. But it's not like I can totally check out for a weekend and like leave her by herself.
No.
And she wouldn't want that, and wouldn't be fair.
Totally. I would dream about that. Like I would think about my parents being like just the best grandparents ever, and dropping my kid off on Friday and then like going to pick them up on Sunday night, you know?
Going to a party in the desert.
Yeah, or wherever they were. Like, I don't care. But I dreamt about that, and then that, you know, was a harsh reality that was not going to happen. But I do think now I'm trying to I'm trying to like learn more things about my mom as like an adult woman and more details about her and try to get a little bit deeper with her and try to like appreciate this new version of her.
Yeah.
And like talk to her about things that I never talked to her about before. And I think that if we like lean into that a little bit more, it will take away
the sadness.
Yeah, we'll take away the sadness and we'll be focusing on that, and we'll come out of leaving. I like, for me now when I'm with her, I try to like really engage and be warm and make it meaningful so that when I leave, I'm not feeling like, oh, why was I short with her? And like, why did I act
kind
annoyed?
Of like when you're interacting with your kids.
Or completely impatient or like want to get out of her house quickly. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to look back in this time in my life and be like, you didn't handle that with grace and like your mom with the utmost respect that she deserves, even when she is
having
like,
a hard time.
Crazy and annoying. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I often think about like the time in our life when we're supposed to be the most selfish in our 20s, you know, in our whole childhood. Really, like you don't realize that that's the time to be selfish.
Completely.
And honestly, I could have been more selfish.
I so could have been more selfish. I was such a good girl, like was so scared of my mom. I'm like, what was I doing? Yeah. I mean, my mom also sent my older sister to AA after catching her drinking once. Like, it was so, we were all like, oh my God, never. And then I didn't drink until I got to college. But yeah, it's so funny. And then Ashley, the sister that happened to, it's just like never drank ever again. Like she'll have a drink here and there, rarely, and she loves my gummies. But it's just so funny how those moments shape us.
This is actually a perfect segue.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. So you are on this constant evolution professionally as you're continuing to figure out the family dynamic and what that looks like.
Yeah.
How do you get to this place of, you know, deciding that you want to move into this lane of kind of a new kind of corporate girly in terms of being your creative director? Is that? Yeah. Amongst like other hats, but I started working with High Confectionery. People see me post
2
about
years
it all the time.
ago now. Do you need more? I should have brought you more.
Don't worry about it.
I thought about it as I was walking out the door. But anyways, yeah. So the founder of High Confectionery actually went to Crossroads. So it was like a fellow Cali girl, and she was talking to Paige about her company, and Paige knew how much I love gummies. Like I got so into gummies during COVID. It was like, I didn't want to drink. I didn't want to feel shitty. I used to love weed in college, but had a few bad trips and then like stopped doing it for so long and then got bored in COVID and was like, let's dig into the gummies. So started having fun with them. So when Jenna when Jenna started filling me in about the company, I was like, I would love to get involved. Like, this is such a perfect project for me. Like, I love candy. I love gummies. I love weed. And like, for this, it just needs different PR, you know? Like, I think that so many people think one way about stoner culture or about weed. And for us, we really want people to just enjoy them and know that with each just being like 1 milligram, that you are like microdosing this goodness and that you're probably not even going to feel anything after one, honestly. I mean, the sleep ones you will because they have melatonin in them.
Those are the ones
but they're just like a gentle body and spirit uplift. And then there's one that's like a really gentle chill out. And they just taste so good and they're mellow. And for me, it's just so nice to, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to sound cliche, but it's just so nice to have it to look forward to at the end of the day.
Amen.
Yeah.
I do know.
Yeah.
Now, how do you explain a job like this to Sonny?
He thinks I just make candy.
Sure.
Like, and I just
not
don't keep any of it out. Yeah. Like, never anything out ever anywhere. But yeah, he thinks that I have a candy company. I have said that it has some medicine in it that's only for adults, which is technically true. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's plant medicine that's only for adults.
Yeah.
And I think that that's all part of the destigmatization as well. I think that teaching kids about these things is not what makes them want to do them. I think you teach them about them along with like all the other things, like the scary things. And I don't need to be talking to Sunny about drugs right now at all. That I'm not saying that I'm having these conversations and teaching
Of course,
scary
yeah.
things, but the conversations will evolve as he gets more age appropriate, and I will talk to him about weed, because people will be talking to him about weed, and I want him to know where it comes from and what, you know what I mean? So like I
just what a
just
gift,
feel like
though.
I know the right time. Like I know how to explain it to him. Like just like when I was thinking, we had to teach him what like death was when our goldfish died, and it was like,
I like that you whispered what death was.
and
Because
like
of the goldfish.
yeah, and this child development specialist told me that you just have to tell them that like their body stopped working, that that's what happens when someone dies, and it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. And so I feel like if I'm just very factual with him,
Yeah. Well, it's the same as like, you know, if there's a drink of alcohol somewhere, at least in this house, I don't drink, but if there's it's mommy daddy juice or grown up juice.
Totally.
That's only. Or like we do Shabbat, so there will be wine. That's for mommies and daddies. You get grape juice.
Yeah.
It's the same sort of thing. But
Exactly.
Also,
it's like this.
your kid
That's
think
why
you're a fucking hero because you make candy. Or
he wants me to make kids candy.
Fair.
Which is something that I really want to do. But yeah, he thinks it's really fun.
You could totally do like a superfood gummy or some shit.
100%. I know I've talked about it with Jenna before, but it would have to be like a
totally different brand.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Because
nothing kid facing.
What you guys achieve with your gummy is it does taste like some of the gummies taste like weed.
I know. Yeah.
These don't. They taste like
candy. I know.
This is not a paid endorsement. I'm just saying.
That's the thing. You want to like snack on them, but it's also because they are so low dose. Like there's not so much medicine in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
How has it felt for you to put this professional hat on? Because it is a different type of role for you.
Yeah,
right?
it's been so much fun. Like I really quite like being behind the scenes and like helping watch a company grow and giving input and being part of a team. Like that feels really, really good. It's not really something that I get to do. Like I feel like so much of my world I do on my own. Like I record my podcast, I'm on my own. I like go and shoot content. It's like a photographer shooting me. Like so it feels really nice to have that camaraderie, and it feels really nice to be actually like giving something to people that's like calming them down, you know, and like helping them sleep. Like that just feels so good. I want to be more in on these kinds of projects. Like I love the creative aspect of creating product, and then like not the marketing so much, because I'm really not a marketing whiz. Like I'm not good at that, but I'm more good at like, what does the brand look like? Like how does it feel? The packaging, the like
creative.
Customer interaction. Yeah, the creative. Like we had a pop-up last summer. Like what does that whole experience look like?
Yeah.
So yeah,
So maybe
I want
we see more of that from you.
Yes, I have a sunglasses collaboration coming out. Or maybe it's out. I don't know when you're going live with this.
In probably 3 weeks.
Okay, so it's out. Yeah, it came out May 22nd. And I did this collaboration with this Australia line called Love Lou, and we did 3 different designs, and they're so cute.
Are they sort of like I feel like I saw maybe. Were you wearing a pair? I feel like I saw they're like a cool shape. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the pairs. So we did this in like a black and then also in a tortoise, but it's just like a very classic shape. Yeah, so those kinds of collaborations where I can like work with a team and build something out like that, has a little touch of them, has a little touch of me. I mean, maybe one day it will be all my own, but for me that just sounds like so much pressure. Yeah.
And you kind of did that once.
I did it, and like I would maybe do it with the right team again, but I don't know.
Maybe not right this sec.
Yeah, it feels a little scary.
And on the parenting side of where you are, Sonny's 7.
He's 7.
So
He'll be 8 in July.
He's like a little man living in the world. He's got his
to
bros.
brush his hair forward, wear a
good hair.
chain, like slip-ons with socks, the whole thing, you know?
He's a little man. He's got his interests. He's got his posse.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's like doing stuff at school and outside of school.
Yeah.
How do you guys juggle getting to the things and doing to the things? It sounds like your parents were very present for all of your stuff.
Very, but always late to pick me up because they were picking up a million different kids. Like I just remember always waiting for my mom to pick me up after school. Sorry, Mom. I mean, it's all, you can't be in the same place, like impossible. So I get it. And it's not like she didn't have a nanny. Like I said, my grandparents live with us 6 months out of the year, but like my dad worked 9 to 5 at that point. Who even knows? So I have to give my mom some credit. But for us, Timmy and I, and then we have someone on our team that helps, like we divide and conquer. Like usually Monday, Timmy and I discuss the week and we decide who can do what. In the mornings, I will like get Sonny ready and pack his snack and do all that. And then Timmy takes him so that I can have some time to myself and like get organized for my day. And then pickup is usually me or Julia, who like helps me with stuff.
Shout out Julia.
Shout out Julia. We
appreciate you
so much. No words. And yeah, but it's like we try not to overschedule Sonny, but then I'm like thinking about that. I'm like, whoa, Monday he had basketball after school.
Yeah.
Tuesday he had soccer. Today he has piano. Tomorrow he won't have anything.
But is he saying like
Friday he'll have
soccer?
soccer? Yeah, he is right now. He didn't want to do baseball, so we let him quit baseball.
I love that you're whispering that. Preach.
I honestly
Good.
didn't even tell my family. We let him quit. It was awful for him. He was crying. He didn't want to go. He got hit, but he like loves soccer, loves basketball, goes to those things, no problem. So I'm like, if this were one of those things where he was just like not socializing well or something was going on, I would be like, we got to try something. But with all the other things,
it was so clear that he was gravitating.
He just didn't like it. So he's like, maybe later. He even said that to us. Like, I don't want to do it right now.
I feel you, Sonny.
So I know, but it can be a lot. It's a lot for these kids. And like the coaches are intense and the parents are intense.
Did you do
kids
sports?
are intense. I did. And my dad was a really amazing athlete and we were really competitive and I loved it. Yeah. But like we just pushed through the scared. Like my dad, there was no way. Like we were always all playing sports. But anyways, yeah. And then Saturday soccer playoffs. And then Sunday going to see my niece and like a dance thing. So it's like it's something pretty much every day. And again, I feel very lucky that we don't have office jobs where we're able to like divide and conquer in that way. But like we make it work. We only have one. We can do it.
Who's the chef in the family, if anybody?
Timmy.
God bless you, Timmy.
I know.
Who's packing lunches?
I'm packing lunches. Who's the chef in your family?
Me.
You are? Are you
obsessed?
Good? You love it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
Passion.
You're baking cookies.
Well, I'm not even that much of a baker, but it's like, what am I going to do? Give you like a chicken pot pie to take home? Like, how fucking weird would that be? But, you know, like it's got to be
amazing. I'm having guests. Like, you could have made me a chicken pot pie.
Next time.
Yeah.
No, I love to cook. It brings me a lot of joy. I have one very selective eater who eats none of it.
Yeah.
But like, whatever.
Yeah. I'm the selective eater in the house.
What are like...
I don't eat pasta.
Okay. He doesn't eat that either.
Your son doesn't eat pasta? No. I don't eat pasta. I like chicken is weird for me. Turkey,
I had
definitely
a very
don't eat.
strange relationship with chicken.
Yeah.
I used to.
Yeah.
Now we eat a lot of it.
Don't really eat fish.
How are you?
I'm like a steak and potatoes girl,
Great.
you know?
Uncontroversial.
Yeah.
I feel.
No, there's still a lot that I eat. Like I love, my favorite is like Mediterranean, like
which is research shows best
health,
for longevity. I
completely.
have to, according to my doctors, I have to eat like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have Crohn's disease, so I like.
You need the fats from the olive oils and the beans and the protein and
I had like a foot of my intestine cut out in October. I know. I know.
It's crazy how long those intestines are.
Crazy. There's so many. They were like,
So-
you can spare it, really.
What were you okay?
Well, I
mean,
trained
you're
for it.
okay,
I trained
but-
for it like it was a marathon. Like I did a whole thing, but a big part of it was like changing how I eat, how I think about food, really doing the whole Mediterranean thing, and like really committing to a total lifestyle change. That's been
amazing.
incredible for me.
That's amazing.
But it's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, I know.
So luckily, I like cooking, or else it would be real.
Completely.
Yeah.
No, I know. That's the issue is like keeping me fed since I don't like to cook is like another full-time job for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like why I have
I know,
a lot
but
of-
see, I won't even drink that. Like that protein
Will it give you the
flavor
yeah.
it won't work for me.
I feel you, sister.
Yeah.
This has been so much fun.
So fun.
I
Good.
could talk to you for so long.
I know. I'm
but
like,
I
is the sun setting?
I
But
know.
it's just going behind a tree.
We have
And it
things to
doesn't
do.
set till 8:00 now. I heard it said for the next 3 months, the sun will not set before 8:00. So
Does that
it's not good for us with kids because
No.
it's so annoying. They're like, it's so late out.
Yeah. What time does
And
Sunny go to bed?
The goal is 7:30, but he's asleep by 8:30.
That's a long hour, potentially.
That's a really long hour.
Yeah.
I'm doing this other thing where I'm testing it out where you ask them to do something and you wait 8 seconds before giving them any kind of reminder or saying anything, and it gives them enough time to like process.
How is it working?
He's been doing it by the 3rd time. So like I'll be like, please pick up books for the evening. I mean, I don't say it like that, but it's like,
Could you please pick up the books for this evening? Would you terribly mind if you could just pick out a couple
it's book
books?
time, like pick your books, right? Like let's be real. I'm like, it's book time, pick your books. So he doesn't listen. So I wait 8 seconds.
You're just counting in your head.
It's like legit. They're like it's gonna feel really long, but you have to do it. So I wait and I just go, and then I wait again, and then I go. And he looks at me and then he picks out the books. It took 3 of them, but I didn't have to like say it or get like anxious or, and when you think about it, that's like 24 seconds if I'm doing the math.
Great use of 24 seconds.
So I don't know. You didn't even say that you need this information.
No,
this
but-
is so annoying. A mom thing.
No, but now keep
But-
me posted. Everybody has their little hacks for surviving bedtime. One of the things that I did, and I will share this for people who are in this stage of life. So I don't know if you remember this. I know it's been a while. The Ferber method, where you into this whole thing for sleeping.
Yeah. Remind me of
So
it.
there's like
It sounds
there's like
familiar.
the full cry it out where you just like let your
we
kids
did that.
scream and you leave them. The Ferber method is where you like go in at predictable intervals
and check.
to check.
We did both of them.
Right. So I have, my son was going through something and just like needing us more and delaying bedtime and coming up with more shit and more shit and more shit. And at first
How
I was
old
like
is he again?
4.5.
Okay.
I was setting an alarm. I was saying, okay, I'm going to stay for 5 minutes and then I'm going to go.
Yeah,
Right? Because
yeah.
we love a timer.
Yeah, love
That
a
didn't
timer.
fucking work. He just asked for 5 more minutes.
Completely.
So what we started doing instead, which has been super effective, is switching it where I say, okay, I'm going to go. I'll be back in 5 minutes. And I show him that I set the timer and I come back in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
90% of the time, he's asleep when I come back.
Amazing.
And if he isn't, I say, hey, I'm checking on you. And occasionally he'll say, can you check on me in 5 more minutes? And almost always he's asleep by the second.
That's amazing.
But
see, Sonny, it's amazing that you've gotten to that because, like, for us, we're still laying in there with him until he falls asleep, which is why
Try
it's an
it.
hour.
dude, try
He
it.
won't let us, like, the other night, he almost let us like do it where we put on the song. He likes to we play Claire de Lune, and then I walked out and I said, I'm gonna go get a snack. He's like, I'm so tired, I'm gonna lay down. I'm like, okay, well, you try to fall asleep, like just listen to the
Dude,
song.
you gotta
And then
try it. Let me know what
he
happens.
called for me, but
So okay, so try like and I'm not a fucking guru here. Okay, we don't
no,
give
but it's
advice
good. He's
here.
4.5 you're already training him to
yeah.
fall asleep on his own.
But it is. But literally, You could even leave one of your phones in there for collateral. And be
Yeah.
like, I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And like, here's the time
so
where you
he
can
knows
see it.
you're definitely gonna. Yeah,
Gotta come back for the
yeah,
phone.
completely. He knows you're serious. You're not gonna leave your phone in there.
But it's
Yeah.
built up over this time, this trust. And like, even if he's
Yeah.
asleep, I still go back and I just say, love you, buddy.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, now we've built this trust thing. And to your point about it's just 24 seconds.
Yeah.
It's just 5 minutes.
No, you're so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you're so right.
what's the big deal?
What is it to us? And I think it's hard because the bedtimes right now, they feel so long, and we've been doing them for, for so many consecutive years. But it's like, you're going to be dying for these years back. So like now I really just try to savor them as much as I can.
Yeah.
Like that is not to say I won't go into them and be like, oh God. But then
fuck
I
and save
really
me.
try
Yeah.
now to like it's like a reflex where it will pop into my head and be like, enjoy this,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Well, that's also what the internet is constantly feeding us, or like the old lady in the grocery
That's
store,
so true.
or like
That's
whatever.
so
Everybody's
true.
constantly just telling you, like, just enjoy yourself.
Always.
You'll just love it, and you're like,
Oh, I know. Like, these are the best years of your life. And you're like, oh my God, this is so much pressure.
you're like,
I'm like, I know it, but like, you're making me feel so depressed right now.
my kid just said I hate you, but these are the best years of my life.
Yeah, also that. Right. Right.
You're the worst mommy ever. You won't let me watch any more Transformers. It's like, cool.
No, I know. That just has to go in one ear and out the other. Yeah.
I could talk to you all day long.
Same.
You're a really good professional talker.
Oh my God, good. Someone actually told me I was chatty the other day, and I was like, I never thought of myself as chatty, but I guess I am.
I mean,
It's for work I can be like, and I think sometimes that's why for me socially, I'm like, I need to check out. I know new friends. Like I'm staying in my bubble, because I'm like,
Who's gonna tell
I'm
her
performing.
that she doesn't have a choice.
Yeah.
When you come into the closet, it's actually a cult.
No,
Once you come in,
and now I already immediately feel close to you. Like I do.
my underwear
I do.
is just right there.
Yeah, amazing. But it's like every day I'm recording one of these or doing something that I feel like is somewhat performative. So
Sometimes you just want to hang out and watch reality TV.
I like to just chill.
and maybe not record it.
a lot of the time. Yeah. A lot of that.
Well, this has been so much fun.
Yes.
Okay.
So fun.
Thank you for coming. Team, I need your help. If you love it here, please like and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Subscribe to the Substack for full access to this episode's show notes and join the discussion. And of course, follow me on Instagram at mutha, MUTHA.life for a daily look at all things mother. Thanks for listening. Be sure to tune in next week for another Chat in the Closet. This podcast was produced by Mother Life, music by Ronan Landa. See you next time.